Welcome back. Today, in the last talk I gave, we talked about the magic grid, which is basically the 9 times table, and we looked at how there weren't many 9s within the times table when we looked at the 1 to 8 series, but when we broke that down and looked more deeply, actually it's a table of 9s. But I arrived at these sequences of numbers through another avenue, in fact, and to take the rest of the journey together that I want to go on with these talks, it's really important that I'm able to show you where those numbers came from. So in order to do that, we need to go to a Buddhist teaching. This is the Buddhist teaching on the 31 planes of existence, and as you can see here, we start in the hell realms, and these are called the bad destinations, and we move up to here where we're in the good destinations. It's also the sense sphere realm, and the bottom of that realm is the humans, and then you continue to rise up through the realms, and then you come into what are called the form realms. That's these ones here, where you get Brahma's retinue, Brahma's ministers, you get limited glory, you get measureless glory, you get all the way up to the highest pure abode. And then you've got these formless realms at the top here, which are infinite space, infinite consciousness, nothingness, neither perception nor non-perception. The 31 planes, it's a whole other talk, which I would like to do one day. But right now, I really want to stay focused on the numbers. So with that in mind, we'll cover this guy because this is a distraction for now. And we will come back and figure out what all that is about in a minute. But we're most interested in what is called the sense sphere realms, which is where we are as humans and where we can ascend to. So the theory of part of the theory of the teaching that I'm presenting is that we are in the human realms, and we can expand our consciousness up through various layers of expansive consciousness and continue to operate, to function within the sense sphere realm. These higher realms are also known as the jhanas. There's jhana 1, 2, 3, 4, and then these are the 5, 6, 7, and 8th jhana. And these are aspects of concentrated mind. And so to be in a jhanic state, one can't be in a jhanic state and chop wood and carry water. So the mind becomes too concentrated. So, however, these layers, this is just a blow up of the sense sphere realm here. So within these layers, we can ascend and expand our consciousness whilst continuing to function in a relatively normal way on the sense sphere plane. That's our day-to-day every world. So one thing that I need to point out on this is that once we get out of the sense sphere realm, all the measurements, these are the lengths of time that we spend in each of these planes if we ascend up through them, and these are measured in eons. You start with a third of an eon, a half an eon, 1 eon, and so on, all the way up to 84,000 eons, which you're due to spend in the realm of neither perception nor non-perception, if you should make it that far. I mean, no, it's not a teaching on the 31 planes today. So, however, in the sense sphere realm, where we've got the blow up here, move the 3 a little bit, we see that this is measured not in eons, but in CY. And these are called celestial years. So switching over to here, you're due to spend, well, you can spend an indefinite amount of time in all of the bad destinations, including the human realm. And then after that, you'll spend 500 celestial years in the 4 Great Kings, all the way up to 16,000 celestial years in plane 11, which is controllers of others' creations. So luckily, the Buddhist sutras give us a little bit more information on this table, and in that they tell us what is a celestial year. One celestial year has 360 days in it, and one celestial year also has 12 months, and therefore one celestial month is 30 days. 12 times 30 is 360. So with this information also comes another table which explains to us that if we look at the 4 Great Kings, for example, there's 50 human years is the equivalent of 1 day in the 4 Great Kings realm. And then it goes up exponentially, because when we get to the controllers of other creations, 1 day in this plane is like 1,600 human years. So that gets kind of increased exponentially. And then this is also the amount of time that we're going to spend in these realms, which we've already got here. That's the equivalent column here. So you're going to spend 500 years in the 4 Great Kings, and then it goes up again exponentially until you see that in plane 11 we're going to spend 16,000 years. So 16,000 years, but also the volume in terms of human years, the volume of those years has gone up dramatically. And then this final column tells us how long we're going to spend in each realm in human years. So when I saw the celestial year 360 days, the first thing I thought about was a circle, 360 degrees. And therefore, if we also know the months being 30 days, so we know that there's 12 months at 30 days, and this can be plotted on a circle. So if this was the first month after 30 days, then the second month would be 60 days, the third month would be 90 days. Okay, if we now put that down to root numbers, they are 3, 6, 9. There are root numbers. And because we're in the Buddhist world here, there's various Dharma wheels in the Buddhist world, which sometimes have 8 spokes, sometimes have 4 spokes, sometimes have 12 spokes, sometimes have 24 spokes, and there's various other Dharma wheels, including one which has 31, just as there are 31 planes in the Planes of Existence teaching. So I kind of visualize this as a Dharma wheel with 12 spokes at one stage. Well, what I came to understand that this guy, number 9, was actually the key number that I needed to be working with. One of the clues to this, I mean, again, all this is documented in the book, but another example of the 9 here is 9,036,000, 3 plus 6 is 9, 144 million is 1 plus 4 plus 4 is 9, add up 5, 7 and 6 and you get to 18, add up 2, 3 and 4 you get 9, add up 9, 2, 1, 6 you get 18, which is a 9 as well. And all the information was pointing me towards number 9. So after a process of further inquiry, I decided that 9 needed to be plotted as a Dharma wheel, as a new Dharma wheel, if you like. So let me grab that. Let me create a little bit of space here, because part of that process was that I took 360 and I divided that by 9 to see what a celestial year would look like on a 9-spoke wheel. And the answer to this is 40. So let's pop in 40. Then it goes 80, 120, 160, 200, 40, 80, 320 and 360. So if we plotted 360 on a 9-spoke Dharma wheel, I know there's 12 months in a celestial year, but now we're working with another model of a Dharma wheel with 9 spokes. So let's reduce now those numbers. So 4, 8, 3, 7, 2, 6, 1, 5, 9. And something that struck me about this wheel was when I divided the other, when I was looking at building other Dharma wheels with 8 spokes, with 4 spokes, and I tried other things like 5, all the numbers, it always came out as to be similar to the celestial year with the 369 or 639 or 99999 all the way around. Dividing by 9 was the one number that you can divide into 360 that gives you one of each of the 9 numbers from 1 to 9. So for me, that was really interesting. But now I also wanted to plot the celestial years given here around the Dharma wheel to see what that looked like. So since we have the information here which tells us we're going to work with plane 11, we're going to go right to the highest expansion of consciousness that we can do. So we need it to hold on to all these numbers as well. So in the controls of other creations plane, there's 1,600 human years in one day. And we know that in one celestial year, there are 360 days. So 1,600 times by 360 gives us the total number of 576,000 human years per celestial year in plane 11. Now, in numerology, if I want to add up these numbers numerologically, I add the 576 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. Yeah, you got it. We don't need the zeros. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love zeros. In the teaching, zeros are a really important figure as well. The zeros are just there to give that aura of importance. So when we divided the 576 by 9, we got 64. And that's what we've got happening over here in this table too. We've got plane number 11, we've got human years in one celestial year, that's our 576 here. Human years, which is this, divided by 9, which is our 64. And then I'm showing how this plots on a 9-spoke Dharma wheel. In the continuity lapse, I just moved this up, which is this is my celestial year, which is the 360 days of the celestial year divided into 9 segments. And this is the reduction. It was 40, 80, 120, 160, and so on. 4, 8, 3, 7, 2, 6, 1, 5, 9. So over here, we've got the breakdown of the 11th plane into 9 spokes. So let's run those through. 64, 128, 192, 256, 320, 384, 448, 512, and of course 576 at the top. So that's the equivalent of one celestial year in human year terms, 576,000 human years, but marked out against on a 9-spoke Dharma wheel, or divided into 9, whichever way you want to see it. When these guys are reduced, now we're looking at the root numbers of the sequence. So we've got it over there. We've got 1, 2, 3. I can do this without looking at the table. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll check 1 out. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 8 is 16. 1 plus 6 equals 7. So that's our now reduced number. So in this case, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It runs in numerological order. So that also struck me as quite significant, because when I divide it in a celestial year, there was 1 of each number, but they were in kind of a abstract order, or what seems to be an abstract order. Whereas when we look at the highest plane of expanded consciousness that we can attain to while still functioning in the sense sphere world, when you get to this stage, all the numbers seem to be in order. So we see this plays out on the first level there, but also I was interested to see if I looked through all the layers, all the different planes of existence, how that would translate as well. So in the same way that we can work out the human years in the 11th plane, we can also do the rest. All the maths, it's already down in the book, so I'm just going to jump along and try and present the basic ideas behind it. So in the 10th plane, the number of human years in one celestial year is 288. When I divided that by 9, you get 32, and therefore the first spoke of the Dharma wheel would be a 32 here. And then we go on 64, 96, all the way up until the 9th spoke would be this 288, which would be at the top here. And again, I took the reduction, the root numbers, and in this case, when we take the root numbers of all these, we get 516, 273, 849. Continue with all these numbers, and the root numbers come out as this. In every single plane, what we get is the numbers 1 to 9 represented. They're always in a different order to each other, and what we get, if we look at those chains of numbers from 1 to 9, here's the moment of we got it. If we look at here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planes that we can work with, that we've got sufficient information from the tables to actually work with something. And when we take out these 3, 6, 9 lines, then we also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, taking out the 3, 6 and the 9 if you like. We also have 6 lines of numbers that run from 1 to 9, given in different orders. And they are exactly the same number ordering as we get through the 6 planes. Let's quickly just run through that. So plane 11 corresponds here to the 1 times table. The 2 times table is found here down in plane 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Well, let's go this way. The 4 times table we have here, plane number 7, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and so on, which root numbers are 4, 8, 3, 7, 2, 6, 1, 5, 9, 4, 8, 3, 7, 2, 6, 1, 5, 9, and so on. I presented this in the last lecture as the magic grid, but I actually came to the magic group through this route, which came from the information on the 31 planes, from the 31 planes teaching themselves. And in the next talk, I want to talk a little bit more about these numbers, these placements, and the next steps that we can take from here. So I think that's a good place to pause this one. Thanks for listening.